Hey friend, welcome back to another amazing episode of the Fit Life Orange County. And before I tee up today's guest, I want to give you a friendly reminder. Give us a like, give us a subscribe on YouTube, write us an amazing review on iTunes. That way we can keep producing this content for you for free. So now to introduce today's guest, who's a friend of mine, who's also the owner of South Coast Conservatory Dance. And she's been positively affecting the health and wellness of our community for going on 3 decades. That's right, 30 years. And today she's going to give you some insights, some strategies on how to overcome anxiety and depression through human movement through dance. So without further ado, Jena Minnick, welcome to the show.
Welcome to the Fit Life Orange County, a show dedicated to busy men and women focused on taking back control of their fitness and their lives with the help from ideas and programs from local experts here in Orange County. Here are your hosts, Bryce Henson and Jake Stewart.
Jena Minnick, welcome to the Fit Life Orange County. Super excited to have you today.
It's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, this show has a big positive message about impacting our community's health and fitness here in Southern California, and specifically in Orange County, being a local-based podcast. And the fact that you are the CEO and second owner of South Coast Conservatory is an incredible thing. And we're really here to learn from you, highlight your studio, and really highlight the health and wellness that you're promoting within Orange County. So my first question for you is really, which is crazy, we talked offline, you have 30 years of experience in the dancing world. I said that has to be a lie because certainly the math doesn't add up. You look so young, but you had mentioned that you started at a young age. So long story short, would love to hear your background, your origin story of how you got involved in dance and really what the origin story of South Coast Conservatory is.
Well, I got involved, like many, when I was a kid, dancing in all styles, but primarily in ballet. And when I was in high school, age 16, after finishing a teacher apprentice program, I became a teacher. And it was always going to be a hobby and a side gig of mine. In the early 90s, there was very little, if none, jobs. So I went to school for business. Absolutely loved that too. Found the artistry in that. And moved out to Orange County, fell in love. I'm here to stay forever. And kept teaching on the side while I was developing my career. And I was teaching for the studio I now own when my daughter was 1. And I said, yeah, this could blend everything I love all together. And that was 20 years ago, and I've been doing it ever since.
That is awesome. What specifically for you, Jenna, that really stuck in terms of the passion around dancing? Like, why did it really speak to you?
Honestly, dance has been the one medium in my life that got me through some of the hardest moments in my life. It's such a mental healing aspect to the artistry and the release that dance provides. All kinds. You could be doing ballet or improv, contemporary. You can be in the air and do aerial. But there's a way of just letting go because you have to, and you just kind of immerse yourself in the experience. And it's been such a part of me and so many other people I know and love that it's also the binding factor between the relationships I have, like with my children, my best friends, my coworkers. It's just a very strong driving force that performing arts has, and that always brings me back to why I do it.
Totally. And I love, we were talking offline also on your website, kind of talking about the value of human movement and the mind-body connection. And I think that's so important, especially in today's day and age where we're living more of a sedentary lifestyle and people are not moving and we're sitting behind our desk. And of course, we just came out of COVID, which, had restrictions and, in terms of lockdowns and all that, when really people need to be moving out there. And I think, dance, does that in many ways. So I want to dive in a little bit to more specifically your studio at South Coast Conservatory. What types of products and services do you offer, and really who's the target? Are you teaching children, adults? And of course, I know the answer, but I'm really curious. That way you can share with our audience.
Yeah, the challenge and the blessing that we've had is that we do teach to that full range. We've got students as young as 2, and yes, I've taught those kids. They're adorable, all the way up to 70s and 80s. So that's a wide range of different needs and different experiences. So the services for the little kids, of course, is very nurturing and fun and laying that foundation of performing arts. And then it goes into the grade school, high school kids. Grade school kids need to build those connections and build trust and confidence in themselves. Whereas then they go into high school and college They need to find pathways for themselves and use the discipline that they've gained from dance. And then we go into the adults where it's like forever dancing. It's like the fitness aspect, the mental health aspect, the social connections. And we do it all through ballet, tap, jazz, hip hop, singing, acting, aerial arts, acrobatics. We have 10 studios. We've been around in the community for 30 years. So it didn't always start that way. It was very small at the beginning, and we've grown to what we are today. And it's a really incredible thing to see such a range of services to such a range of people. But it does have its challenges because it's home to a lot of different people. And so the challenges is communicating to those individual people along the way and keeping that home special for each of them.
Oh, that's amazing. And I love how you cater so many different types of people from young. You mentioned 2 years old. I'm like, how does that work? But I think that's so important in today's day and age, and from a health and fitness perspective, especially, starting young. And Jenna, which is interesting, I was reading a CDC report recently, and not only is our country's obesity rate nearly 50%, but our kids' obesity rate is the highest of all time, 20%. So the fact that you offer that mentorship and guidance and movement, and also I would imagine, at a young age, you also still so much confidence in your young dancers that carries them through their teen years and also adult years as well. Would that be fair to say?
Oh yeah. In fact, in the private studio world, the parents have really recognized this, and that's why they enroll their kids. That's why they enroll themselves. But I'm also a big advocate of serving the greater community. So about 10 years ago, I started a nonprofit foundation that gives the benefits of dance to children and adults that are either at risk, low income, special needs, because the benefits are for everybody. It's just providing it is the challenge. So we're now in 40 schools teaching to kids that are learning how to dance and do acting for free, which is amazing. And because that obesity rate is there, because of the mental health issues that are there, we need to answer that for everyone. I mean, everyone's a big goal of ours, but we are definitely tackling it every day and giving people that experience, the experience I fell in love with, that so many other people have fallen in love with.
I love that, and it's definitely needed, I think, now more than ever. So I applaud you for that. Now, my next question for you, Jenna, and reading your site, and we're talking offline about this, but you were rated the best dance school in Laguna Niguel for the last 13 years. So what's the zone of genius? What you do exceptionally well? I would love to paint a picture of our audience on how you were able to achieve that incredible feat.
Yeah, actually, I think it's about 15 years now. I just have to update the website. And the biggest part probably is the community. It's hiring great teachers that really care, that have the values of like showing the best of themselves and expecting the best out of people. Not perfection, but effort. Effort of like challenging and growing and setting new goals. And we do that as an organization, and we do that for our students. So we're always setting the next goal that's ahead of us. And in doing so, it's given us longevity. It's helped us build relationships with the students, the teachers, the community. And so it's hard to just let that go. And the staying power and the foundation's been strengthened year after year, even through things like recessions and pandemics. We continue to grow and pivot so that we can continue to do what we love to do. And that's spread art and education in our world.
Totally. Now, I would imagine you have a lot of enthusiastic dancers that come to your door, but I would also imagine human nature, when learning about your program, there's probably a lot of excitement, but also a lot of like scared and doubt or nervousness and doubt, thinking, okay, can I do that? Or can my, son or daughter, be involved, in your program? So what type of concerns do you typically hear? And really, how do you overcome those to make sure that someone who's expressing interest in starting with your studio feels welcomed? I'm curious what that typically looks like from your lens.
Most hesitation comes from teenagers and adults. And they often think, I don't know if I'll be comfortable there, because they probably already know how to do it and I don't. And my message for those that are thinking about it, they're dancing in their living room or their cars or whatnot, and they want to do more of it, is one, everybody feels that way. So you're not alone. We're all in this together. And the ones that have had experience started there. So they're very embracing, and they know that sense of belonging is really important. So that's the exact encouragement somebody needs. In your car, no one's going to encourage you to keep grooving except you. But once you get in with a bunch of other people, they're applauding you, they're cheering you on, they're giving you the high fives, they're laughing and smiling and grooving with you. And so that's the biggest thing to remember is it's a safe place with so much like love and welcome feeling that you just have to give yourself a moment of grace and go, I'm just going to go for it. Every time I see a student, like I said, it's usually teenagers and adults because they're very self-aware. As soon as they're done and after class or after their first experience, they're just like, oh my gosh, that was so much fun. And their whole mood is elevated. We have a couple of hip hop and tap teams for adults. And that's very intimidating because you're like, we're going to go compete. Ooh, I don't know if I can do this. And my favorite thing is to listen to what they say when they come off the stage the first time. It is in a euphoria that is incredible. They're like, oh my gosh, that was so much fun. I want to do it again. So that's what I want people to realize is like, yes, it's scary. Acknowledge that fear, but know that you're walking into a safe place. And when you walk out, you're going to feel 10 times better.
Oh, I love that so much. And I appreciate the reassurance even for me, but I was just thinking to myself, like if I'm in my car kind of grooving and I was like, all right, I want to kind of take a dance class, I would actually be that person that would feel, self-conscious and, scared that I'm going to be the one with the two left feet. So I think that definitely is woven in human nature. And interestingly enough, even for, my fitness facility here at Mission Viejo Fit Body, that's the common, request or common concern. People think that everyone that comes to boot camp are fitness models, and that's just not the case at all. We're there to basically help people with their fitness, just like you're there to help people with their, dancing and their skills and their confidence as well. So I think that's a great message.
What's up, my friend? Coach Bryce here. Now, you might know me as the co-host of this podcast and the owner of Mission Viejo Fit Body. But what many people don't know is that I began my journey as a fitness transformation story. You see, circuit training and nutrition coaching absolutely changed my life after being overweight with a diet of mainly fast food in my late teens. Now, upon my fitness transformation in early 2007, yes, I gained a much better physique as I was overweight and lacked lean muscle. But way more than burning fat and building lean muscle, I increased my confidence, my energy, and my vibrancy to live life. And it's for these reasons that many people join our boot camp. In fact, with our Ultimate Transformation Program, we guarantee that you'll lose at least 15 pounds in 12 weeks, or your program is free until you do. Now go ahead and visit our website at missionviejofitbody.com. Now thanks, and back to the show.
That all in mind, Jenna, I'm curious. You've been around for such a long time in the studio in South County. I would imagine you probably have a success story or two that has been a part of your program. Would love maybe if you could share that.
Absolutely. This story is a little near and dear to my heart because today I'm going to this woman's daughter's wedding. In fact, this is our original student. Mary Jane came in right after her daughter was born and needed to take some dance classes because that was where her love was at, but she hadn't done it for years and wanted to get back in shape. And that was 30 years ago. And she's been doing ballet and tap and hip hop and she's done aerials. She tries it all. I love her. And I just saw her again on Thursday night, finishing up an adult hip hop class. And I'm like, you never stopped. You kept going. Both your daughter and your son danced here. Her daughter's now a doctor, and her wedding tonight, dancing is mandatory. It says so on the invitation. And so I asked Mary Jane, I said, all these years, you kept coming back. You're full-time, employed, 2 kids, you never stopped. And she's like, because it just feels good. And she's not thinking about exercise. She's not thinking about anything else. She's thinking about like the next move and trying to remember it and then put it all together and then put her own style into it. There's that artistry and there's that like cognitive stuff that she's doing. And I go, well, did you do it for fitness? She goes, oh, well, I mean, that's just an added benefit. So she was like, and she looks fantastic. She's going to look amazing at her daughter's wedding today. So I'm really excited to dance alongside her at times and then watch her perform. She even break dances. It's incredible. I love her. And she's just one of many, but to do it for 30 years and to influence and inspire your own children and many, many others, it's just really incredible to see.
Oh my goodness. That warms my heart. It makes me so excited because in the health and fitness and mindset game, consistency compounds, and really that's the name of the game. And the fact that she's been consistent for 30 years. And you also said something, Jenna, that really resonates with me. It's about being the example for your kids. And I feel like that's actually lost today in today's day and age. So by leading by example, developing good, healthy habits like movement and dancing and having fun and increasing your energy and enthusiasm towards your family, I think is so important. So I appreciate you letting our audience know and learn from an incredible story like that. So I guess you've been so gracious with your time. We still have some more time left for our lightning round, but I want to transition just to get a little bit more knowledge from you, Jenna, if that makes sense with you.
Yeah.
Cool. So you're a very passionate person. I can feel your energy through this particular podcast. What would you say is your biggest source of passion these days and why?
My children. I have 4 kids, and I am inspired by them all the time. For example, it was homecoming game last night. One of my sons plays varsity football. The other one does track, but that did not stop him from going out during the halftime and doing some flipping on the stage. 3 of my 4 children are dancers themselves. They have had such a moment of connection, and I still see them spreading what they do. And my oldest son, his first job was at the studio, and his customer service that he had to do as his first job for people so passionate about something has had a huge impact on the remainder of his career. But they're my passion, they're my inspiration to continue to do what I do. And I always think, how can I be that best parent for my kids and also find that balance in everything I do. And that's where my passion is deepest, honestly.
I love it. I can feel it. So I appreciate you sharing. And again, being a great role model. And that's a big message I always like to share for our community's health and wellness. Even if it's not for you, do it for your kids. Be an example that they need. So I appreciate you doing that for your kids. Next up, Jenna, and kind of in the dancing theme, what is a unique value bomb, something that from a new client or new person trying your studio should probably know about dance, but for whatever reason they don't? I would love to get some insight, especially for the newbies trying your program for the first time.
Yeah, I think one of the misnomers of dance is what we see at the end product. We think that, one, it's incredible to watch, especially the professionals, and we think, I can't do that. But if you dial it back and realize every wedding you've gone to, tribal dances done from the early mankind years, dance is actually built in every single one of us. That music turns on, you start to just move your shoulders or bop your head or something. And so it all begins there, that intrinsic part of movement connected to music, connected to space and other people. So if you've never tried it before, appreciate the professionals you've seen, but know that we all have a little bit of that professionalism deep in us, and just tap into that. The sky is the limit. Even for guys such as yourself, we have dads that will dance and they will do hip hop together, and they close the door and say, nobody watches. But then they bond together and they're like, this is great. And then they're talking and they're having their great conversations. So even the dad with 2 left feet that thinks I've just got these, dorky moves from high school, it's still fun. It still feels good. And there's no such thing as dorky moves. That's your move. And it's awesome.
That is so good. Well, you've literally you're talking to me in addition to our audience, but you've been inspiring me and giving me confidence as well for the next time I want to put myself out there in a dancing environment. So I appreciate that, Jenna. Next up, I'm curious for our audience who's interested in actually, trying your dance studio for the first time, what type of offer introductory program that you have, and would love to, point people and recommend people to give you guys a try.
Yeah. Well, it's our 30th anniversary. So we had a really cool 30th anniversary special where it's try a week of classes for free because, as I mentioned earlier, there's so many options for you or for your child it's nice to try which one works best for you. So that free week is great. We did end it at the end of September, but for your podcast and your listeners, I'd love to extend that. So if you go online, you can see those special offers, but just reaching out and letting them know, hey, I'm calling from Fit Life OC, and they're going to hook you up. So it's a great chance to get to discover things for yourself at no cost. So.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. I know we were talking offline that you want to provide a special deal. And just to reiterate that, normally it's just one free dance class, but for their 30th year anniversary, which is so amazing, which technically ended. But if you're listening as a listener to this particular show, just reference Fit Life Orange County, and Jenna and team will be able to extend that free week for you, which is incredible. So thank you.
Yeah, and if you go online and you don't talk to anyone directly, because I know I like to do that at 2 a.m. too, just put in that promo code FLOC, and it'll pop right up for you. Yeah.
Perfect. All right, next up, and this is nothing to do with dancing, but this is a local show, and certainly want to connect with you on a human level, and also provide some good recommendations for this beautiful area of Orange County that we live in. Where's your favorite spot to hang out with your family for leisure?
I like to mountain bike, and there's a lot of places to do it in Orange County. So I can't say I have a favorite spot, but it's just knowing that I can hop on and go in 10 different directions. I can end up down in the harbor or up in the mountains near Ortega, finding trails, meeting people. So that's kind of my release, and I am very blessed to be able to do it in such a beautiful place.
That we are. All right, Jen, I got 2 more questions for you. This has been incredible. And like I said, I want to point and strongly recommend our audience to, give South Coast Conservatory a try. Where can they find you? You have a website, you have a phone number, social media handles. What's the best way to reach out?
All of those. So you can just Google us, South Coast Conservatory, and you can read and find all those social sites as well. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, not so much because, tweeting and dancing don't really go, but TikTok and dancing definitely. And our website is SC for South Coast Conservatory.com. But again, just Google us, you'll find us. Talk to Suri, she'll hook you up. Whatever you need. We're easy to find. After 30 years of being around, you can read about a lot of other people's experiences, find a lot of videos, photos, and learn more about our company, our studio.
Love it. All right, Jenna, to kind of finish this off, and I have a huge passion for movement, for inspiring health and fitness. Our mission at the show is to inspire fitness and change lives every day, and you certainly are doing it. So I want to strongly recommend that our audience come check you out. I guess my last question would be a parting piece of wisdom for an audience who's listening to this, who connects with you, Jenna, and is excited to get moving, to explore dance with South Coast Conservatory. But for whatever reason, there's nervousness, there's scared, there's apprehension. What is your parting piece of wisdom for that person listening today?
The hardest things are usually the best things. The challenge of having the bravery to go in and try something new in a new space with new people, it is, it's intimidating, or it may feel very uncomfortable. But I always tell myself, in discomfort lies that growth. So get feeling good about being a little uncomfortable. And then after you've tried it, you will feel so good and so glad that you did.
Oh, well said. And that's a perfect bow on this particular episode. And before we leave today, I just want to thank you, Jenna. Your energy is awesome. Like I said, I have a huge passion for helping our community here in Orange County, and you certainly are doing it day in and day out, and have been for the better part of 3 decades, which is so incredible. So I just want to thank you for your time today, and really thank you for helping the cause for our community to live a positive and healthy life.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you very much, Bryce.
You got it. Well, friends, I know you got a ton of value. Assuming you did, give this episode a like and subscribe on YouTube. Write an amazing review, and even better yet, drop your biggest takeaway in the comments. We'd love to engage, but even more so, make sure to reach out to Jenna and the South Coast Conservatory team. That is all for today. And Jenna, thanks again. My friends, we'll see you in the next episode.